I'm on my way to lunch with a client. You can probably tell from the way I sound, I've been sick. It's been an absolutely miserable week. I felt like crap. But anyway, going to lunch today with a client. I am going to record something this afternoon. Not quite sure what it's going to be about. Hopefully it's good. Coming back from lunch, I had a really good lunch. It was like 2 hours, which I wasn't planning on today, but it turned out to be really good. 4 of us sitting around the table having a good discussion. The topic came up, it's Friday afternoon. And I was like, what are you doing with the rest of your day? What are you doing with the rest of your day? And the question was asked to this friend of mine who's a small business owner who's become very successful and gonna call it a week or what. He's like, no, I got a couple hours. He's like, I just like to be productive. He's like, you got a couple hours here, a couple hours there. You start to give those up, you could be looking at a whole week before too long. Which was interesting because that very point came up later in the conversation. Later in the conversation, this friend of mine and we were trying to convince the other guy who was having lunch with us that he should really go into business for himself. And he's really smart, intelligent, bright guy, has demonstrated a lot of success so far. There's really no reason why he can't do it on his own. But we were also talking about what creates that difference between the business owners who are successful and those who fail. There's lots of statistics out there about how most small businesses fail within inside 5 years or 10 years or something like that. And we were talking about what makes the difference. And I went back to that comment that my friend made earlier about spending the last 2 hours on a Friday afternoon getting some more work done. Because I think that attitude is what makes the difference between success and failure when you're starting a small business. I'm not saying you never take a Friday afternoon off. I'm not saying that you don't take time off. But I do think that when you start, especially when you start a small business, when you're working, you're working. When you're playing, you're playing. And the truth is, in the first few years, you're gonna work a lot more than you play. That's just the reality. But that attitude of, I'm very successful. Could I take the next 2 hours off? Could I call it an early afternoon? Yeah, I absolutely could. But there's a little voice inside of me that's saying, you can get stuff done. You can close another sale. You can deliver another product. You can reach out to another customer. And that attitude that my friend has is a really good indication of what it takes to be successful in small business. You can call it work ethic, you can call it hustle, you can call it whatever you want. But the idea that you can be successful really stands on this foundation of not being satisfied, always wanting to be productive, always wanting to do a little bit more. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Do you want to say something?